Okay, everybody, it is 6:02 p.m. On October 15th, 2024. My name is Nick Kremp. I'm the conservation agent for the city of Leominster. I'm going to start by taking attendance of the commissioners present, the Conservation Commission. Chuck Raymond.
Here.
Rich Gullick.
Here.
Mike Seeke.
Here.
Jim Chambers.
Here.
Nick Venti.
That's me, right here.
And Bob Seacard.
Yeah.
And absent is Steph Quinlan, but we have 6 of 7, so that makes a quorum. And before we get started, I just want to remind everyone to silence any devices you might have on hand. And with that, I will pass it off to my chair, Chuck Raymond.
Thank you, Nicholas. So, sir, what we typically do is before we get going, we open up to people who have any comments on things that aren't on the agenda. But you're here to talk about that, so we'll. There you go. Perfect. Thank you. All right, moving on then. Under new hearings, I'll go ahead and read it into the record that we have no DEP numbers, so we're not going to be deliberating, but I'll go ahead and read it into the record anyway. Pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40, the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act, the Leominster Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on a notice of intent for the demolition of a single-family house in the riverfront area of Reservoir Brook, address 208 Pleasant Street, map and parcel 339-2 with no DEP number. So there's nobody here to present on it, so we're not going to be deliberating on it, but if Nick's going to do a quick summary, we can ask him any questions we have. There's a gentleman, there's an abutter here who, again, you can ask questions once we're done. Nick will answer them as best he can, but again, it's getting continued, probably until the 29th, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. So Nick, go ahead.
All right, yeah, so I think everyone here is familiar with 208 Pleasant Street at this point, but it's that house that got all but destroyed on September 11th of last year when the pond at Barrett Park overtopped the dam, sent a bunch of water flowing down Reservoir Brook, as was stated. Here's the pond up by Barrett Park. So all that water rushed down here. Overwhelmed the culvert, which crosses underneath Pleasant Street here. And there was formerly, or there is now still, a culvert that cuts through the foundation of this house and exits out the back when it becomes an open air stream again and continues on past the condos here. So that has since been purchased by the city, and they are working on demolishing that in preparation for hopefully receiving some federal highway money to rebuild the road and the culvert in front of the house and to open up the stream bed and everything at the parcel that the house currently sits on. So the work is going to be removing the house, the shed, and the driveway in the back. Basically all impervious surfaces, most of the foundation of the house with the exception of the culvert itself, and then the sides are going to be loamed and seeded with a wildflower mix, and then once the money from the highway department comes through, hopefully after all of this, then there will be another notice of intent filing for the reconstruction of that culvert and the opening up of the stream bed and the full removal of the current culvert there. So that is
Removal and replacement?
yes, yeah. The replacement of the culvert underneath that, and the removal of the culvert tied into the foundation here.
Oh, right, okay.
So that's basically the job. They're proposing a silt fence along the back of the property here. The parcel's actually rather large. It's this whole area right here. But the area of work is going to be everything north of the back of the driveway, basically. So,
all right.
yeah. So Brook comes through culvert under Pleasant Street. It's currently opened up right here. It was previously all closed up to this point, but culvert goes under Pleasant Street. There's a temporary 36-inch plastic culvert. There's a small opening here, and you can see the culvert going underneath the house, enters underneath the house, and then opens up again here.
So that whole area will be daylighted?
So that whole area will be daylighted except for the culverts and the portions of the foundation right around there.
Okay.
They're gonna try, as my understanding of it is they're gonna leave that culvert under the house, and try and pull away as much as they can without disturbing that, and then that removal will come with the next NOI.
Okay, all right, we shall see.
Yeah.
Okay. All set?
So that is, yeah.
I
that's
just
basically it.
have one question first, Jim. Thank you. So it says, under site description, the existing structure was built over Reservoir Brook in the 1940s. So this work is going to be literally over the brook, in and around the brook.
Yes.
But it says, under section B of the notice of intent form, buffer zone only. They're literally going to be in the stream.
Yeah,
So I'm
that's.
curious how I can get away with that. Yeah.
That should
So
be-
we don't have to decide that time. I'm just kind
Yeah.
of curious that they quote buffer zone only.
That is a clerical error that they'll need to
Oh, okay.
revisit, because even if they're not working in the stream at all, they're definitely within the riverfront area,
Right.
so that's not buffer zone
Yeah.
only, so
And
I
that
will.
they did check.
What's that?
They did check that part, that they're in riverfront area.
Yeah.
Did
Yeah,
they?
right,
Okay.
right.
But, yeah, that's just a.
Because the other option is inland resource areas, which to me, I think they will be.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, all right, so that's fine. Jim?
Are there environmental conditions holding up the demolition of this house?
No, just the Wetland Protection Act and the need to file with us for alterations.
So that's not under emergency conditions, they can't just.
They
The
could-
house is a hazard.
Oh, you said environmental conditions, did you mean emergency?
Emergency and environmental. What if there's environmental conditions holding us back from letting it be demolished? I wanted to know that. And otherwise, wouldn't it be under emergency conditions? that they
Squeeze in.
Go ahead and demolish that building? It's subject to further dilapidation and self-destruction, as well as being an attractive nuisance for kids and.
Jim, can you just let Stephanie squeeze in? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
I see, I think I understand the question. So technically, this might be able to be permitted under an emergency certification. I just don't personally feel comfortable with that, just given the amount of activity going on so close to the brook. I would prefer to see this come through as a notice of intent, which they've already started the process with that. They're currently bidding out the project, so they're hoping that, they were hoping they might be able to get it voted through today, but I told them, we might not, we might have to wait until the end of the month, given the file number and the comments. But the plan is basically, they're bidding it out, and then as soon as we give them the permit for this, they're ready to go ahead and demolish it. So they will be demolishing it soon. The other thing is, it could be maybe permitted under an emergency certification, but it's been sitting there for a year. And so it's not so pressing an emergency. I mean, I would rather see this come through as a notice of intent, is basically just to get some more oversight to this process. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna
Understand
say,
your No, it'd be much worse.
it's been over 13 months. I would not call it emergency, nor would I say that this commission is the holdup, since we're just hearing about
Yeah,
it
right.
here.
Right.
It's been 13 months, so that's not
Right.
technically accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah, not as if they're waiting for people to move back into the house, and it's just
Right.
it's vacant, so.
Yeah. And the city's perfectly willing to go through the process of the notice of intent. They understand all that, so.
Okay.
I would have liked to see it come through sooner, but this is the timeline.
Here we are.
Yeah.
Any other, Michael?
Yeah, it seems to me that the elevation is such that is going, to daylight it from Pleasant Street to continue the stream bed is going to create, quite a culvert there, quite a ravine there, which
Mhm.
could be dangerous. Is there any option to level it off, perhaps put some benches in there, make it something of a neighborhood gathering area,
I think-
and daylight it at the end of the property line?
I think ultimately, I would love to see this turned into like a pocket park of some
Yeah,
kind.
yeah.
I think that probably will be the end result of this eventually. But
Sounds like you have to have discussions with the DPW.
yeah, but there currently is
Oh, interesting.
quite a dip. These are from just today. So this is along Colburn Street looking north towards Pleasant Street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can see this is the outlet from under the Pleasant Street. going under there.
That's that temporary culvert you were talking about?
Yeah, that's the temporary 36-inch, that's looking at it from Pleasant Street.
Yeah.
Flows this way into the Bulks culvert.
Wow,
Unbelievable.
stream that's not even visible now, caused all of that.
Uh-huh. So this is the backyard looking westward from the eastern side of the property. So this driveway, this shed, all this is gonna be torn up and removed.
Trees will stay.
They'll probably have to remove, I'd imagine, like there's this big box elder tree that's right at the back of the house, that's at least partially over this culvert, it's right on the edge of the driveway, so that might need to be removed. They'll remove some of the smaller stuff, I'm sure, but
Yeah.
like this is the end of the box culvert where it flows out in the backyard.
That's the back of the property?
Yeah, so, well, this is more like in the middle of the property.
Oh.
More or less, it's like right here.
Yeah, that's what I meant,
Yeah. When I was looking up the driveway, that was like from right here.
Okay.
But.
Like a great little bucket park for the neighborhood.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. This is the opening, the outfall from that culvert from the previous photo.
Yep.
And the stream kind of flows
Oh,
off in
alright.
this direction.
Gotcha.
When the NOI comes through later, they might include some dredging possibly of the stream. I would like to see that anyway, because it's been so overwhelmed with sediment that
Yeah, right.
the back of the house, that stream is completely, I was walking on the stream, but it was completely dry. Just because the water, so much sediment was brought in that you can see the water coming out of the bottom of the culvert and then it just goes into the ground and then continues on. So they probably should remove some of that.
Okay.
But yeah, that's basically it, and then we're gonna be coming, hopefully with someone else from DPW or someone that can answer more questions if there are any, we'll be coming on the 29th.
Okay. Bob?
I just have a quick concern. I can appreciate Michael's idea there and like it, but again, what I would be concerned, because I've seen problems with the exit of a culvert, CVS or whatever, that the neighbors are protected downstream from it. And if that point could be a slow down point, or maybe even a little retention barrier or something to protect the neighbors downstream, I think that would be better. And the second comment I had was, will there be a environmental observer or somebody that watches over those, construction or demolition for the city, or, on site for the contractor to make sure that nothing's, polluting the brook any further?
Are those things you can address the DPW, Nick?
I can bring those up to them. I have not heard anything on those points specifically, but I will bring that up to them.
Okay.
If there's gonna be a
So
monitor.
So
Tank
environmental
in there.
observer and something to kind of slow down the pace of the water screaming through that culvert
Mhm.
at times.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would disagree with that second comment. I mean, I would reduce any hardening around that river. I would avoid hardening the riverfront area and putting up walls and such unless you have to. The issue with the CVS culvert is that the culvert exits playing the wrong angle.
Mhm.
But this one, it's going the right way. You can have a natural stream area right there, and really you shouldn't fight what the stream wants to do unless you absolutely have to.
So what you're saying is water wins.
Yeah,
Yeah.
imposing hard structures around the stream, will introduce scour. I mean, you can't fight it.
I would completely agree with Nick
Yeah.
on this one. Maybe put some large cobble along the bank, but
There's already a bit.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
good riprap.
yeah, I would agree with Nick.
Yeah.
Any other comments, questions,
Is
concerns?
everything, does anything on this particular NOI need the state funding? Or is the city
I
paying
believe
for all of this part?
I believe the city is paying for all of this.
Did you say they hope for some kind of reimbursement or something? Or?
Yeah, so
Highway
they're gonna
fund?
be,
But I thought that was for the road part.
Oh, it could be.
That's-
Well, you see them at the
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
demolition itself. Got it,
This is
okay.
this is really just the house
Okay,
demolition.
got it.
I'm sorry, I did get a letter from the mayor, but they are hoping for I think it's like a $1.6 million something from the highway department.
For the road, but he's talking about the demolition of the house
Talking about
itself.
this, I don't.
For this, I
Yes,
don't
I know why.
believe where they're getting any extra funding for this, it's
Okay.
the city.
Nice.
I just remembered, I don't know if we have any insight, according to Barrett Park's dam, was there talk about removing that dam, or, I feel better if it was removed and we wouldn't have to worry about it.
We are gonna be seeing a notice of intent come through for,
Okay.
upgrades to that dam, which
Upgrade.
they were planning on upgrades before the flood, and there's just more of an increased interest in doing that since then, so I'm actually gonna have a Zoom meeting with, GZA and some other people about the upgrades to that, and, getting a notice of intent coming through with that, so. That should be coming in the next, like, 2-3 months maybe.
So they're not gonna get rid of the dam? but-
No.
Okay. So
Definitely not.
Then they can probably control it better.
Yeah.
Large.
They're gonna replace the culvert, speaking on Barrett Park, the dam there, they're gonna replace the, I don't know if it's a culvert technically, but the outlet of the pond at the dam, they're gonna widen that, and they're doing some work with the, I can't remember the name of the structure, but the concrete cylinder out there that's like a level, it maintains the level of the pond, they're doing some work and replacing the pipe that outlets there and doing some regrading, so.
Is that an earthen dam? Do you know?
Yes.
It is? Oh, okay. How old, do you know how old that dam is?
No, but I'm sure we'll hear all about it when they come through for notice of intent.
It can only help with the flood control.
Right.
Once
Yeah.
the water reaches the top level, it's gonna be the same amount of water going downhill that it would otherwise.
Okay.
There was also a lot of interest in that sustainability study in Barrett Park as a swimming area, actually.
Yeah.
There was some renewed interest there, so I don't know exactly what those contractors came up with for proposals, but.
I think the main issue with the swimming is the amount of nutrients and runoff that's going into the pond and causing like algal blooms and things like that. Cause it's like the clarity of the water, like there needs to
Isn't
be.
that why they put that sprinkler in the middle to
To help.
oxygen?
Yeah.
Yeah, to help mix the water up and keep it a little clearer, but it's just,
Oxygen,
there's too much runoff and
There's one there, look at.
algae coming in, so, but that's getting a little.
There's one up there.
All right.
Yeah.
Sir, did you have any questions or anything we can help you with? Just introduce yourself, please, first.
I'm Grant Garcia. I live at 219 Pleasant Street, so I'm the property across the street, and I have a front row
Directly across Pleasant Street?
directly across,
Okay.
and the house is set back from the road, so
Yep.
that stream goes right in front of my house. First of all, I appreciate the due consideration that everyone here has over everything we do. It's really valuable. I appreciate that. When I developed that property back in 1989, I was here at commission meetings. I appreciate, everything that you directed us to do has worked out really well. So I know the right decision's gonna be made, but as someone who has a vested interest in what that neighborhood looks like, I think Mr. Seekey's comments were really good about what are we gonna do to protect people from falling in the stream or make that area look nice. Because if you're gonna have, you're gonna have quite a dip if you don't do anything to cover the stream, if you just leave it open, especially, I understand they're gonna have to increase from one culvert to 2 culverts. So that's gonna widen the area that the water's coming through. And at certain times of year, somebody could drown in that stream. Usually not, but when it rains, somebody really could. So we had to protect our children all these years whenever it was raining like that, to make sure that they were safe. So I want to make sure that people are safe, but that the water course that is exposed to daylight is something that people can enjoy, but at the same time, the part that's down deep, down in the canyon, if you will, whatever, that we're protected from that. And I know this commission isn't the one that designs it, but I would just like to express my concern for safety and for even the appearance of it. Let's make it usable. If you don't do anything to cover it up, you're gonna have to put a fence there,
Yeah.
Yep.
right? Not the prettiest thing,
Right.
but it could be done in a really nice way. And I think Like, a lot could be done to enhance, that neighborhood and the city if a lot of thought and care was put into it. But I have a lot of confidence in the gentleman and gentlelady. So thank you for your work.
Nick, is there an opportunity for Mr. Garcia to express his concerns to DPW as they're progressing down this road?
I can definitely put him in touch with people if he's interested in that, but I can be sure to pass on your comments as well.
Oh, please do, I would love
Because
to.
it might help them inform whoever it is that's going to be designing it for them. I doubt DPW is going to be designing it. I'll be helping inform them, so instead of coming to us and then having to go back and redesign it,
Yeah,
that might help them shorten the process and inform their design.
anything I can do to help.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And the good comments really apply to the next notice of intent, not
Yes.
the current one.
Yes.
'Cause this
Right.
is just taking down the
This
house.
is just to get rid of the house,
And I
exactly,
assume
yeah.
they'll keep it fenced out.
Yeah.
But
For safety's sake for now.
Ugly construction chain link fence.
For now.
yeah,
Yeah, okay.
never too early to start thinking
No.
about those things. So.
I appreciate you coming in, though.
Oh, thank you very much.
Any other questions, comments, concerns?
I just want to comment, I love his environmentally friendly granite driveway, brand-new driveway. It looks beautiful rather than a hot top,
Thank you. Yeah,
causing more heat in the
Yeah.
atmosphere. But
I definitely didn't want to have runoff going into the stream. It's been too much a part of our life, we've enjoyed it, and I want it to stay nice.
Must have been something sitting there watching that
Looks great.
stream come screaming through that night.
I wish I was there. We
Oh, you weren't there?
at a family gathering in North Carolina.
Oh.
Jeez. Wow.
All right. All right, thank you, sir. Appreciate
Thank you
it.
very much,
Thank you,
Mr. Garcia.
So with that, any other questions, comments? So with that, I'll just entertain a motion to continue the hearing until, what did you say, the 29th?
Yes, October 29th.
Yeah.
I'll make that motion.
Thank
I
you,
can
Jim.
second that, Joe.
Thank you, Bob.
All right, I'll take the commission's vote by roll call. Bob Seacard.
Aye.
Nick Venti.
Aye.
Steph Quinlan.
Aye.
Jim Chambers.
Aye.
Mike Seeke.
Aye.
Rich Gullick.
Aye.
And Chuck Raymond.
Aye.
All right,
Cool. All right.
perfect.
Alrighty, so for the next one, the 508 Main Street, there is a number, but they did ask to continue it, but I'll go ahead and read into the record.
We're not opening it, so.
No, I'm just gonna read into the record.
It might be a good. I think it might be a good idea, just because we've continued
Yeah,
it several
right.
times. So.
Yeah. They had requested a continuance to address the DEP comments. So pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40, the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act, the Leominster Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on a notice of intent for the reconstruction of an office building in the riverfront area of the North Nashua River. Address 508 Main Street, map and parcel, public right-of-way in front of 14-19.
Oh, that is a mistype.
Okay.
Excuse me.
What should that be?
That should be. I'll get it. 1 second.
Okay.
Excuse me, people. Map and parcel 232-9.
Okay, so address 508 Main Street, map and parcel 232-9, DP number 199-1203. Like I said, several of us were at the site visit today, and they requested a continuance to address DEP comments.
Yep. So.
So with that, I'll simply entertain a motion to continue the hearing to the 29th.
October 29th. Yep.
I'll make that motion,
Thank you, Bob.
and I'm sure Richard would have found that mistake anyway.
Could I ask a question?
Sure.
I wasn't able to attend this morning, but do you want to have any discussion about what you observed
Just
today?
clarifying existing conditions and things like that. If you're interested in visiting the site so you can get eyes on it, I'd be happy to go there or arrange another visit with Chris. Or it's a public, it's an open business, so I'm sure you'd be free to pull in and take a quick walk around.
Yeah, I just wondered while it was fresh on your mind if you had anything about that.
Nothing really, just clarifying existing
Yeah,
conditions.
as I recall, one of the main points of points of conversation was new development versus redevelopment in the eyes of the Riverfront Act. So, it depends on how you look at it.
And that would be the question I have
Yeah.
as far as.
Yeah, and he'll, when I assume it will be Chris that comes in on the
Yeah.
29th, but more than enough opportunity to ask him those questions.
Great.
All right,
We'll get into
Changes in
the,
permeability.
yeah.
yeah, we'll get into the,
Impervious
That
surfaces.
proximity to the actual river now, it looks like they're moving it
I'm
closer.
yeah.
Not
So.
moving it close.
But we'll get into the.
Yeah, we'll get into all the way,
nitty-gritty of it.
yeah, I don't wanna get into that tonight. We'll-
But just, it was, yeah, questions about details and what exactly does the Riverfront Act
Yeah.
allow and not.
Yeah. So Bob made the motion to continue.
Yep.
I'll second.
Thank you, Jim.
Okay, I'll take the commission's vote by roll call. Bob Seacard,
Aye.
Nick Venti,
Aye.
Steph Quinlan,
Aye.
Jim Chambers,
Aye.
Mike Seeke,
Aye.
Rich Gullick,
Aye.
and Chuck Raymond.
Aye.
All right. We'll continue that on October 29th.
All right, good. So we're moving on to the regular meeting. Under enforcement, an update on the CVS project at 188 and 210 Central Street.
Yes, so this is just from today. One of the more important photos is this.
Ooh.
So, 2 weeks ago or so, they had asked for an emergency certification. They had gotten an emergency certification for the placement of these large sandbags about a month or so ago. Following that, about 2 weeks ago, they had requested another emergency certification to start filling in this void behind the sandbags, which they've started to do, or which they've completed up to this point. What they're going to do before the notice of intent. So they filled all this in. They put some large grade stone in the back, lots of erosion control, and they got this wall up to just prevent anyone from dipping into the stream there.
And they did not skimp on those Jersey barriers.
Yeah, right. And they kind of shored up the base of this decking just to help out the neighbor there.
I can see that.
Yes. So that is it. That's just the update I wanted to give everyone, that they've started to fill this in, but as far as all the work goes before the notice of intent, that's all done. The next thing we're gonna hear from them is probably early November. They'll come back with that full notice of intent for the reconstruction of the wall, which you can see the edge of it right here where it started to collapse away. So it curves around this way, the culvert's down in the bottom right here, curves around and then goes to a straightaway down to the left.
Is the wall the approximate boundary of the property?
The property boundary is just past the wall, so it's probably more or less where the silt fence or the straw wattle is here.
So all these are put in by CVS's contractor on their property? That's CVS property right here?
On CVS property, a little bit on 210 Central Street, the neighboring property.
Yeah, they're right up on the driveway and a lot of it's gone.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what kind of wall they propose to put in. Whether they're gonna put in just concrete
Yeah.
blocks, or if they're actually gonna put something a little more
So, yeah,
resilient.
the property line ran right along the back of the wall, but now that it's gone, it probably runs through some of these sandbags,
Yeah.
but they have to, work from both sides to fix everything, so.
Yeah.
But that's it, that's how it stands today.
You didn't get a chance to talk to the homeowner, did you?
No, I talked to him a couple weeks ago. He was happy with CVS's communication
Good,
and
okay.
keeping in touch with everything up to that point. And he let me know if he has any issues, so I'm just leaving him be with it, and then I will be in touch with him as we get that NOI coming in.
Robert?
Yeah, I just want to remind everybody of the north side of the wall too. That's pretty well chewed up and fallen in along with the parking lot too.
Oh, the side closest to CVS?
Yeah, that's gonna have to be
Yeah.
all done over
Okay.
too.
So this is
Oh, right
looking,
there, okay, yeah.
this is looking east along the drainage channel
CVS up
here.
on top there?
Yeah, so
Out where behind that dumpster.
yeah, off to the right from this photo is all the sandbags and everything. This
Yeah.
is looking straight down the wall. This is that opposite wall that collapsed. You can see some of the collapse here. Some of the bricks in the stream bed there.
Oh, yeah, huh? Interesting.
Yeah.
So that, on the opposite side of the bank?
Yep.
By 188
Mhm.
Central, those are all temporary things, those are all temporary measures?
The
None of that's intended to be permanent.
The
Right.
sandbags,
Correct.
yeah, that's all temporary stuff
Okay.
until they can rebuild this wall. You can see another shot of the wall there through the leaves.
Yeah, they also, sandbags also allow them to fill in that
Sure.
driveway,
Yeah,
wherever it's
start-
going.
behind
Yeah.
it.
Start filling it in, get some of
At
that
least
work done.
temporarily, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
Save them a day of work once they get the wall started.
Any other questions, comments for Nick?
Yep.
All right, good. Thank you, Nick. Appreciate that. All right. Moving on, under outreach, nature walk at Pierce Street Conservation Area, the new one. Yay.
Yep.
On October 24th at 4.
Yeah, so next nature walk is gonna be Pier Street Conservation. Some of you were there for the Day of Caring event, which went very well. So we have a 3/4 mile trail loop. This is for the event. So October 24th, 4 p.m. We're gonna meet right at the trailhead here and then take a walk through. Lots of cool stuff.
You don't have that map you showed me, do you?
Yeah. So this is the trail
Yeah.
that we've got, the blue and orange line here. Nice little loop.
And the pond obviously up there on top right.
Yep, this is the pond. So that's it.
Cool.
Excellent.
That'll be,
Very
a
good.
nice,
So glad we got that. That's fantastic.
that'll be a great day.
Thought we lost that. Oh, well.
Yeah.
Cool. Alrighty. Oh, sorry, Bob. That's
Just a
thank you.
quick question on the sign.
Mm-hmm.
Is still a plan to maybe move that a little closer or get another one, or?
There is. They want to get a kiosk down there eventually, but that's all coming down the track. Nothing immediately happening on that, but I would like to see some better signage out there for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. All right, under meeting minutes, the September 24th, 2024 meeting. I saw you reviewed it, I took a swing through it this morning, made some comments. Anybody, any concerns?
The clarification you asked for, the 4-3 vote, the
Yeah.
3 were Bob, Seacard, Chuck, and I, not you.
That's right.
Okay, so I did see that comment. I have to go back and review the video, but.
Okay.
And I corrected it because I had my notes
Oh, okay.
It was,
on who,
See, there you go.
yeah,
Okay.
and who voted which.
Okay, cool.
I had notes, actually, wait a minute, I got notes too.
He's like, it wasn't me.
I saw that.
I was in on the winning side.
Let me check that myself.
Remember one time wait, that wasn't me.
That was,
And that was the $2,000.
yeah, that was.
Yeah,
that
for the
was
Beaver
version.
versions.
All right.
Yes, Illinois,
that-
C-card.
That's, we can talk about that at,
C-card go
under
like
Commissioner
Raymond.
comments.
Yeah, C-card go like Raymond broadcast, that's, yeah. that's-
Okay.
Okay.
I got that, I got that too.
All right, so, okay, with that then, I'll entertain a motion to approve the meeting minutes for the September 24th, 2024 meeting, as in the draft minutes and commented and edited by the commission.
I make that motion.
Thank you, Rich. Is there a second?
I'll second
Thank you, Nick.
Okay. Take the commission's vote by roll. Bob Seacard.
Aye.
Nick Venti.
that. Aye.
Seth Quinlan.
Aye.
Jim Chambers.
Aye.
Mike Seiki.
Aye.
Rich Gullick.
Aye.
And Chuck Raymond.
Aye.
7-0.
Lovely. Thank you all. All right, moving on. Open meeting law refresher. Nicholas.
Yeah, so some of you requested a little refresher on this. I sent an email that had a PDF of this document here. If anyone wants a physical copy, I'll be happy to print it out for you.
I'll take one.
I'll print one out for you. You can take this one after
It's
today
like
if you
printing
want.
48 pages or whatever it was.
But a lot of the questions that I've gotten have been about, what constitutes a meeting and what constitutes deliberation, basically, and when and where, and what can we talk about. So, basically, just to address that one point, open meeting law applies to a number of boards and commissions. All we need to know is that our commission, open meeting law applies to us. So a meeting is generally defined as a deliberation by a public body with respect to any matter within the body's jurisdiction. So basically, if there's a quorum of members discussing anything under our jurisdiction anywhere, that constitutes a deliberation, and it is subject to open meeting law.
So it doesn't have to be about a specific applicant, it can be about anything under our jurisdiction. Is that what you're saying?
I would venture to guess.
I mean, what if we just started chatting about the Wetlands Protection Act?
In general, I think we can speak about things. There's some exclusions to that, such as, like passing out agendas, coordinating things, but if we're, in terms of like making decisions that
Okay, all right.
this board has authority over.
So are you suggesting that site visits should only have no more than 3 people?
No, so that is one of the exceptions, like we can have site visits, but we can't deliberate at the site visit, so we can't discuss amongst ourselves.
But
you know,
that seemed to imply that even having a quorum of people made it a deliberative body, right there.
That's a
Yeah.
specific exemption. That you can do the site visits, but we can't deliberate. So we really can't say, well, what are you gonna do about this, Mike? And I'm thinking of doing that. We can ask questions of the representatives who are there.
Right, it's an information gathering.
Yes, it's
So-
well put.
Right.
So, word for word here, it's deliberation is an oral or written communication through any medium between or among a quorum of a public body on any public business within its jurisdiction. So that public business bit, that tells me it's something about like a project that's actually public business that's being applied for a permit and things like that. You can talk about things that are, I mean, you're not talking about anything
Well, we
that's,
probably could talk about the beaver thing,
Right.
right, without a public meeting.
but we can't talk about, you know, what would be acceptable to one member or another, or how would you vote on this, that kind of thing.
Yeah, because that's an actual hearing in front of us now,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, so that would be off limits
The
for,
beavers here.
well, that beaver case.
That particular beaver
Not
case behind
beavers
that
in
house.
general. We could talk beaver science,
Right.
and we could talk the Wetlands Protection Act, because we're not deliberating.
Mhm.
Deliberating
Well,
means leading to a
Discussing
decision.
the science of the piping and all
That we can do.
That's just a general kind of thing, we can talk about that.
But
Yeah.
Nick, so it's a quorum, which for us is 4.
Yes.
No matter how many people are filled seats, it's 4.
Mhm.
So if we have 3 of us.
For a full board, yeah.
Even without that, we don't have the exemption, right, that says, oh, if we only have 6 members, then it's.
No, yeah, that's a quorum, the quorum is reduced if the number of people is
Are you
reduced.
sure for us?
I'm like 99% sure.
Okay, because there
Yeah.
has to be a specific local law designating that, according to that.
Yeah, the way I read that, you have to have the set quorum
Mhm.
unless you have an exemption or whatever to prorate
Right,
your quorum.
so we'd like to see that, if we're gonna go and say, hey,
I believe that's explicitly stated in the Wetlands Protection Act, what states a quorum for commissioners, for conservation commissions. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I've seen it written
okay, that'd
somewhere.
be different than this.
I've seen it written somewhere that it's, because we've had less members
Well, we thought we
before.
were okay with it, so when I read that, then I wasn't sure again.
Like, if we had 5 members, then a quorum would be 3.
Yeah, okay, so if it's in the Wetland Protection Act, then that's something different.
So.
But is that officially 5, or because we have 2 openings? If we normally have 7 and we're down to 5, is a quorum of 3?
Yes, yeah. Because we need to, it's a majority of the seated members.
The seated members, okay.
Yeah, majority of the seated members. So if we have 2 openings, then a quorum is only 3, because then we'd have, if that didn't change, then we'd still need 4 people to show up, and that means, you know, if we lose 2 of the 5, then
Couldn't
that's,
do anything.
yeah, we can't do anything. That's kind of,
And that happens to some boards.
I have
Yeah.
a question. So, seeing as I've caused most of the controversy,
You know, others have joined in.
the last situation was a statement made that because the beaver dam damage was on private property, it is not under our jurisdiction.
if the installation of a flow device, whether it's on private or public property, that would still need a notice of intent, that's still under our jurisdiction.
But we were saying, what the comment was, we were probably going to abandon that because it was on private property, it wasn't part of, we were not going to make that decision. So how does that constitute deliberation?
Deciding not to decide. It's a decision.
Government at work.
The free will.
Yeah, I would say we should avoid talking, like in that specific instance, if different members were wondering, you know, should we take this on or shouldn't we take it on? we should probably leave that for public meetings.
Oh,
Yeah.
I will be writing no more emails at all. That's another story. But the feeling definitely was that we, at your direction,
Mhm.
were going to step away from that.
Mhm.
And my comment was that I wouldn't be prepared to step away from it.
Mhm.
And I guess that's deliberation. That doesn't seem like deliberation to me. It means, to me, it is, I think it takes more discussion.
Yeah, it seems to me, but the.
You can't signal your intent.
I think that there's a gray area here, but I think the fact that the email conversation was about this particular project, that to me raises a red flag, and we should probably err on the side of caution.
I'm going to be erring on all sorts of caution.
So I'm just gonna read a little bit further on this quote that I had read earlier, I think that might clarify it. So, distribution of a meeting agenda, scheduling, or procedural information, or reports or documents that may be discussed at a meeting is often helpful to public body members when preparing for upcoming meetings. These types of communications generally will not constitute deliberation. So for sending agendas out, scheduling stuff, just preparing for procedural things, that is not deliberation.
Okay.
These types of communications not generally constitute deliberation, provided that when these materials are distributed, no member of the public body expresses an opinion on matters within the body's jurisdiction. Additionally, certain communications that may otherwise be considered deliberation are specifically exempt by statute from the blah, 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 blah. So that's not something, yeah. So that would be a violation of public meeting law if someone states their opinion to a quorum of other board members, even if no one else responds, because it's still considered a deliberation if everyone is
But
receiving that
if there's
communication.
only three of us, Chuck and Mike and I, there's elsewhere, sitting there somewhere, just going on about
Yeah.
one of these cases,
Mhm.
that's okay, because we don't have a
Seems
quorum.
to be. Yeah.
That's how
I
I'm
thought we had a limit to two talking, but it
Yeah,
could be three.
That, to me, seems more of a deliberation.
So
Unless they
that,
deliberate.
Well, it can be, but it's the quorum.
That's-
concept, right?
that seems to be the case, the way I'm reading it. However, if three people are talking about someone and then, or talking about something under our jurisdiction, and then
Right.
one of those people goes off and talks to someone else in our board, then that's a quorum.
Yeah,
And
it
then
doesn't have to be
that's
all at once, it's in total.
Yeah.
Oh,
So that's what, that's any,
okay, that's different.
and that kind of goes along with any form of written communication, verbal or written. So it's like if you send an email and then someone forwards that email and then the majority of us end up talking about what we're gonna do, then that's a deliberation.
Oh, that's definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about
One other point on that, staff are not included on that, at least staff that aren't a seated member of the board. So I'm not a member of this board technically, I don't have voting power.
Yeah.
So any of y'all can discuss anything under our jurisdiction individually with me to ask questions or to tell me how you're feeling about stuff. I just can't, again, go back and share that with multiple people and say, Mike is thinking about this, Rich is thinking about that to other people, because then that's bringing in a quorum of people, so.
Okay.
Are you ultimately the enforcer, though? Then if you're not in the quorum?
How do you mean?
If you see something.
Nick
if you see
I'm,
somebody-
I'm supposed to be the one that.
Point at me.
Nick is,
Knock.
well, Nick is our regulatory body, yes, he is the enforcer.
Yeah, we should.
We provide him our opinions, but ultimately, he's the enforcer.
Yeah, we should all have a basic understanding of open meeting law, but I take it as my responsibility to be kind of the expert for
It was
everyone.
pretty good.
Yeah.
And thank you, I read it, and it was, thank you, Chuck, for bringing it right up, because that made a lot of sense to me, especially after I read it,
Yeah.
what was going on.
Mhm.
So I can't as a person, a devious person,
Yeah,
talk to Nick,
uh-huh,
my motive, and him go to another person, and him go to another person.
Apparently
That's,
not.
that's,
Yeah,
that's the
You get-
Chuck's interpretation of,
Yeah.
that's, no.
Because that
Yeah.
could be deliberate and thus cheating
Of course it
against the
could be.
principle of
Right.
the law. If we play telephone.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can know.
Yeah. All right, I think that was helpful. And-
Yeah, just respond, I'd like to discuss this more,
Yeah.
We'll bring it
Or
right
just
to the
don't
big
respond
table.
Mumsur.
Can I have that?
Yeah, you can have those.
Excellent.
I highlighted some stuff in there, but
Beautiful, thank you.
Thank you, Nick.
yeah, if anyone else wants that, just send me an email. I'll bring it to you at the next meeting.
Yeah, I saw this in the email, like, I was at work, like, I don't want to print 48 pages.
I'll print it.
So he did it for me. Thank you.
Alright.
All set? Any other
Anything
deliberative
else? Yeah.
comments on that?
Public meeting law.
Yeah, okay.
Other than the signature sheet, and you said that's not applicable to us?
You'll double check on.
Oh, yeah, oh,
signature
this-
sheet
yeah, this
with
thing?
City clerk.
Oh, yes. 'Cause I think you are right about that, but I just have not
Maybe, maybe
heard
not.
about that, so.
It would be good to check.
Maybe,
Cool.
maybe
Well-
It's in 3 years.
an annual reminder date.
It wouldn't hurt. Particularly if we get new members, but yeah, wouldn't hurt.
So then, what about, Rich and Chuck separately discussing the statement of condition, the standard statement of conditions, and then bringing that before the committee at a later date?
Mhm.
Is that,
But yes, they
Which
brought it
is
to
what we did.
everybody.
that's okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So-
And
so-
also, oh, I guess
Yeah.
that is,
We gotta do the work somewhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so a subcommittee is effectively, subcommittee type work is effectively allowed under the open
Right,
meetings law.
correct,
So that's
yeah.
okay.
That's how I'm interpreting.
Oh,
How could it be? Then Chuck goes to somebody else, and says, oh, I was just talking about this. I mean,
Can't
that
announce your
whole
findings
chain,
unless you're-
that whole chain of,
well,
could
it's not
happen.
a chain if two people discuss something and then present it to the larger body.
Right.
Mhm.
Like
Which is what we
this is
did.
public,
At-
you know.
At the meeting.
At the meeting,
So
right,
that's-
right.
So I guess that's okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Robert?
I read into it pretty deeply and got dizzy after a while.
Yeah.
Put you to sleep?
The part that I was interested in and I forgot to ask Nick about was, it says that you're supposed to sign something too initially when you come on the board, and I don't remember signing anything.
I think it's that.
That's what we've been talking
the
about
back-
the last page.
That's it, yeah.
So I'm gonna clarify that with the clerk's office. I think that is the case. So-
Okay, okay.
And I will get you a copy of that and have you.
So your votes haven't counted for the entire year you've been there.
Thanks a lot, Bob.
You get me in trouble all the time.
Imagine what he does to
Welcome
himself.
to the club.
All right, cool, that was helpful, thank you, Nick. All right, moving on, under commissioner comments, points of discussion to be scheduled for future meetings.
I thought I had sent an email about this, but I'm doubting that now. But basically, the follow-up from the Beaver Solutions project. So DPW is basically unwilling to adopt responsibility for the maintenance of this, being it on private property and all that, and it's a new thing. They could conceivably set up like an easement or some sort of an agreement moving forward to make that sort of thing possible, but they're just not interested in getting into the weeds with that. So we would need another part of the city, another department to act as the applicant for this. We can't just apply to ourselves. So, and I don't really want to, I'm not interested in getting involved with that if DPW is not helping us out with maintenance moving forward. So the Beaver Solutions project is basically dead.
Oh, okay.
So I would love to see it. I think it's a cheaper, better option moving forward, but if DPW isn't helping us with it, then that's just,
Well,
we can't make them do it.
why can't we approach the homeowners to maintain it? It's in their best interest to keep it running free if they can.
Because the city is basically paying for beaver removal, so I think they'd rather just have the city keep paying for the beaver removal every year than have them take on responsibility for the structure that,
It's easier to kill them than to,
yeah. So, that's
makes
basically.
a lot of sense.
So beaver removals, conifer bear traps.
Huh?
Yeah, more or less,
Yeah.
or whatever other traps they might have, but.
I thought we discussed it, that they weren't gonna live trap.
Yeah, no, I mean, I know the conifer bear traps are very common. I don't know what other lethal trapping methods there are, but it's basically all lethal trapping for
Well.
beavers, so,
Oh, well. All right,
That are a rifle.
yeah. So,
Not in the neighborhood.
Special conditions, that is.
mm.
What was our resolution? Weren't they on your desk waiting to be distributed to everybody?
I'll have that ready for the next meeting.
So we can deliberate, because we're getting rusty on it already.
I know, I was actually thinking about it a little while ago, what the heck was I thinking about?
Alright, that will be on the
Oh.
agenda for October 29th. I'll distribute that updated draft to
Okay,
everybody, so you can
yeah.
review it.
Okay.
And then we can answer,
Okay.
we can answer anything as to why we left something out or added something.
Yeah,
We'll have our notes and can go through any line you want to question.
yeah. Yeah, a lot of stuff we found was duplicative from elsewhere, whether it was Protection Act or the standard general conditions, so. How would we do this? When I was in the Falmouth Concom, whenever they had applicant was in front of us, when we went on a site visit, they had all the boundaries marked with stakes and was painted. There's center lines of roads, center lines of driveways, top of the coastal bank, everything was marked with stakes. How could, I found it horrendously helpful to walk on a property and actually see where the house is gonna be, or where the various boundaries are. How would we do, would that have to be covered, would that have to be under a bylaw, or could that be part of the special conditions? Any idea?
Special conditions don't come until we've already inspected and made our decision.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know if anybody has any thoughts, and I'm not looking for opinions right now, but I thought it was horrendously helpful.
Nick can
Have everything
guide
marked in
people in
appropriate.
advance without being overly burdensome.
Yeah,
I'll look into the best way to
Yeah.
set that up and condition that.
yeah, that would be good. Okay. Anything else along those lines for future meetings? No? Okay. Moving on then, under next meetings, our next meeting will be October 29th, 2024. The filing deadline was last Friday, October 11th at noon. And the subsequent meeting after that will be November 12th, 2024. And the filing deadline is, what's that, is that a week from Friday? The 25th?
Yes.
Yes, it'll be a week from Friday, October 25th at noon. With that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you.
Fastest meeting
Is there a
ever.
second?
I know. With a 3-week.
I'll second.
Thank you,
Okay.
Rich seconded.
Yes, I'll take the commission's vote by roll call. Bob Seacard.
Aye.
Nick Venti. Steph Quinlan.
Aye.
Jim Chambers.
Aye.
Mike Seiki.
Aye.
Rich Golick. Chuck Raymond.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned at 6:54 PM.